myself now. My name's Andrew Wilson. I'm Programs Manager with the Supply Chain Sustainability School. So welcome to this session. We're going to give an overview of the refreshed supplier development system for National Highways, which we will share a lot of detail about. We'll give some background, give some context, and give the overall aim and objectives of the supply development system before going into a bit more detail around how it works and how to access it from the school's platform. We should have time for Q&A as well at the end. So I'm going to pass across now to Stefan Jastak, who's also on the call. Stefan leads the supply chain development collaboration for National Highways, working with key supplier partners, but all of the supply chain materials and subcontractors on operations, on maintenance, but also on major projects. So Stefan, thanks for joining the call. I'll pass across to you to get things started.
Thank you, Andrew. Thanks for the invite, and hello to everyone. So in the Crown Hotel today, I'm just been presenting for the ops community in the Yorkshire and North East about the same development system we're going to talk about today. So if we could just move to the next slide, Andrew. So when we built this slide and built the system, the big thing was to why are we doing this? What was the focus? And the big focus for us is we need to build the capabilities to improve performance, throughout the different areas of our supply chain and our business. So that is the why. So build capabilities, improve performance, nice and simple. We've had an existing supply development system that we've had in place for about 3 or 4 years previous to this refreshed one, and it was a great system. We over the duration of it being deployed, we saw an overall 10% maturity improvement in suppliers, and these suppliers, 9 out of 10 times were showing better performance, showing it better work winning and so on. So when we came to relook at this supply development system, we decided to take a step back. We employed a company called the Borton Group, one of our consultants, and a gentleman called Rob Worley, to do an independent study on this, to say, look, do we need another supply development system? What do we need to focus on? So what Rob did was speak to suppliers and users of the existing supply development system, our direct suppliers for major projects, operations, but also indirect suppliers, SMEs, to find out what they thought about it. And we also engaged internally with subject matter experts and other things in the network that might not be there. And the conclusion is, yeah, we definitely need this. We definitely need a refresh, especially aligning to what National Highways needs to achieve over the next 4 or 5 years as we move into ROS period 3, let's call it RIS 3. Which hopefully we'll get some announcements this next year about the shape and size of it and so on. But we do know what the strategic outcomes that we need to achieve, which are the coloured boxes across the top. So improving safety for all, which goes without saying, providing fast, reliable journeys, well-maintained, reliable network, achieving efficient delivery, meeting the needs of others, and delivering a better environment, air quality, water quality, carbon. So those are what we need to achieve at a very, very high level. So we took that as our basis. This is what we need to focus on. So from there, we started to talk to internal subject matter experts about the why and what does good look like in the next 5 years and all these different areas. And what we've come up with is it's a 3 by 3 by 3 box model. So right at the very top, we've got good at the basics. So what is good at the basics for National Highways? So, delivering safety, deliver safety well on site, make sure that we are performing well on safety. This is probably the ultimate one. The next one down is time, cost and quality. So we heard the government talk about productivity, about being more predictable. How many times I've heard in the last couple of years, we've not met the target program or the target budget, or the quality has been poor. We've had to go back and redo works. We feel that is a very important area that we need to focus on. And then there's customer centric. Customer is key. Customer sees everything what we do on our road networks. It's and we get a satisfaction level, and we need to make sure that everybody is aligned to what our customer focus is and what our ambition is. Now, we've got the next step down, and it's not taking anything away from these. They're still very important subject matters. So the continuous improvement, obviously, we've talked about environmental things on carbon that we've got to achieve. We've got a carbon plan. We've got obviously the air quality and water quality, which has come up on other areas that we've still got to improve on. We've got a new element to it this year as well on this supply development system called deployment digitization. Now, this will include things like business information management systems. It will include digital asset management, cyber security, and lots more. So we need to now start looking at that and growing our maturity in that area. And then we've got modern methods of construction, or construction industrialization, as it seems to be starting to be named now. Now, they're all very important because they're all entwined, in the top layer of the basics. For example, in modern methods of construction, we're trying to improve productivity, but if you take things off-site, you've got something in a controlled environment where you're going to reduce carbon, look at hopefully improve health and safety. You've got more social value locally, and also you've got these skills being maintained in localized areas. So there's also that standardization as well. And if we go to the last one, which is the progressive behaviors, we've got again social value and EDI. We've got the collaborative aligned working, so we talk about the early contractor engagement. We talk about speaking to our whole supply chain where we're at design stage, but we've also got the motivation of leaders, the culture and behavior, because we can't do anything without the leaders influencing the direction, which then goes back to the basics. So this is all entwined. It's not separated out, but we've got to understand that health and safety is key, and we've got to be able to deliver effectively. Now, this is not going to form any part of any procurements. It's not a race. It's not it's not a sprint or anything like that. What we want you to do is think, well, it's the next 5 years of RIS3. We can take what we're doing step by step. It is going to be contractual. That will be inside your contracts that to say that we'd like to do this as you move in to any direct contract with National Highways, but we don't want to use it as a stick. It's more of this is a good system. So I've just moved to the next slide, Andrew, if that's okay. So what the system is, you obviously got a QR code there. You can scan me now. It's a self-assessment. So we've talked about the 3 by 3 by 3 box model. So there's 27 different maturity assessments, and we have spoken to lots of subject matters experts internally in National Highways and externally who are employed directly by National Highways to actually do the assessment. And 27 sounds like a lot, but I did speak to a few SMEs to get a bit of feedback, and I think the quickest one did it in half an hour, so it's not too onerous. I did speak to Graham's recently, to Dave Brown, and he said, look, yeah, about an hour, but he had his key people around the table and they flew through it. What you do get is an action plan from the self-assessment, and it's a tailored action plan to your own business. So you need to make sure that you're filling it in correctly. If everybody's scoring 5 out of 5, that's not a true reflection. You may be doing that, and if you are doing that, I'll get you on stage at the next engagement council in front of 500 people to say how well you're doing and tell us, all your case studies, how you've improved your business. But realistically, what we want to see is people scoring accurately for the business. So if you score a 1, it's not a problem. What I want to see is that your 1 has now come a 2 after you've done some online learning, or if you've taken an action plan where you've done some learning, or you've actually applied knowledge in your business to actually make a change that has improved your performance. That's what we want to see. That is really, really important to myself and National Highways. So 1s and 2s are fine. To score a 3 is really good. 4 is you get a practitioner level, and then the 5 would be, well, come back and present what you've done. We really want to see the changes that you've been doing. Now, I've asked Andrew recently to upload a very simple case study form. It's just a PowerPoint, 1 slide. What was your focus area? How have you done it? How have you employed the knowledge, and how has your performance of the business improved? So I do want to hear back from everybody when they've actually gone through the system. As I say, it's very simple, very easy. And what the main output is looking at that improving behaviour. So I'll say this again: it's a free system, it's a free tool. It's been built by suppliers, SMEs, as well as National Highways topic matter experts and our direct suppliers. So this is not going to cost you anything apart from a bit of time. You can deploy this, strategically at different levels in your business, from a director level to a project manager level to the backroom staff of your team, or the actual use it as toolbox talks on site. The system allows you to do that, so it's scalable. So I'm just going to probably move to the next slide, which I think will be Laura. I would pass on to Laura now, but thanks for listening.
Hi everybody, so I'm Laura Watson, National Highways Supply Development Manager, working with Steph and in the supply chain division. So I think, as Steph has touched on, the system, we've had the system in place since around 2001, but we knew that to meet RIS3 commitments, we needed to relook at the kind of fundamentals around the system and give that a bit of a refresh. But I think, as Steph has touched upon, we haven't done that in isolation. So we have worked really closely with a group of stakeholders. So first of all, we started with, well, is there still a need for the supply development system? Huge question. Answer: absolutely yes. We've seen suppliers grow their maturity by 10% plus over the last few years simply by using the system. We've seen an improvement in performance over those few years. So yes, we're still seeing value from the system, but we're also seeing suppliers who don't necessarily work for us directly, but might work for us indirectly through the supply chains, that are using the system to help to grow their maturity. So we engaged with not just direct suppliers, indirect suppliers, SMEs, and we've also been working with the likes of Seeker, ACE, etc., to get their input and feedback into this system. So we realised, yes, there was still absolutely a need for this. We've also then taken the themes or the topics that are within the supply development system, and we've taken them back to our own in-house subject matter experts. So sustainability, social value, quality, etc., to really look at, I think, as Steph may have touched on, what is going to be important to us over the next 5 years to enable us to deliver the RIS3. So that helped us in developing the maturity statements, which obviously form part of the assessment. So we've, as part of that development, I say we've worked together. We've worked with well, people you can see there on the screen, but we've also, some of the feedback that we heard was that the previous iteration of the system may have felt a bit clunky. So it was an Excel spreadsheet which users of the system had to complete and then submit, and actually we thought there must be a much kind of slicker and easier way to do that. So it's now a fully online, fully enabled system. So you can do everything through the school. You go on the link. You don't need to then come out and do an Excel spreadsheet. As I said, it's answer the questions, and it will then bring you out to a very tailored learning plan for your organisation, so that will help you to grow your maturity in wherever the assessment has identified that there may be some maturity gaps. And we're kind of in the final stages now. So we've been, over the last few months, very busy revising and refreshing the system. We've tested. We think it's good to go. We've had some really good feedback. I think we're up to about 130 plus suppliers now that have done the assessments on the new system. So we're now at the stage where we want to really promote and get this out there into the supply base and into the wider industry, because we can really see that it's having some great benefits, and we've got some great kind of supplier testimonials on how the use of this system has helped suppliers to grow their maturity. And I think I'll probably pause there. I think we've probably covered the why and the how.
Yeah, I think just finishing off, Laura, one thing I did say, you can just use it as a maturity tool just to align yourself to what National Highways need to achieve in the future. That's the key message. There's an alignment there. It gives you an idea of where you need to be. We have been obviously speaking at quite a lot of events recently. We talked to Contracting Excellence recently and Seek, and there's not another system out there that's doing this at this moment in time. We spend a lot of time on capabilities at National Highways, and our independent consultant said, yeah, you probably could use it in lots of other different, infrastructure sectors. So it's quite positive, and the take up so far, we've only launched it since early December. We've got over 130 assessments done, and it's going really, really well, and lots of really good feedback. So, Andrew, I'll just pass on to you now.
Yeah, thanks, Steph. Thanks, Laura. What I'm going to do for the remainder of the session is talk about how to find the SDS assessment, how to use it, and what it produces in terms of an action plan for your organisation. It's on the schools platform, and there is a lot of information on the schools platform for those of you who are familiar with it. We provide support for about 7,500 organisations across the UK, covering all aspects of the built environment. So we've got an entire division looking at housing and homes. We've got a division looking at facilities management. We've got a division looking at commercial construction, etc. We've also got a lot of support for the wider infrastructure sector, of which clearly highways is a major part. So I'm going to explain through the next few slides how to find the background information on the supply development system, and how to run an assessment for your organisation. I'll probably mention this a few times throughout the presentation, but the point I wanted to make right from the outset is that the assessment is an organisational needs analysis. So it's not assessing any individual's understanding or knowledge. It's more a capability assessment for an entire company. And that's a really important point to appreciate, because from that, you will be able to find where the assessment sits on the platform and the action plan for your business as a whole. I'll also point out through the next few slides, we'll probably have a live look on the website as well. I've done some screen grabs just in case my internet isn't the best, because I'm out of the office at the moment. So I've done some screen grabs, so we'll rifle through those, but we'll also have a look at the live website as well, and I'll keep sharing my screen as I go onto the live website to make it come to life a little bit. So first and foremost, the supplychainschool.co.uk/partners is where all of the key organisations that lead the school's work are presented. National Highways is one of about 230 organisations that lead and fund the school's support and provision to grow understanding on the sustainability agenda, to increase performance across all different aspects of sustainability. So you need to go to the partners page and select National Highways from the partner list. Once you've done that, you get to what we call the National Highways partner page. So this is where all of the, and Lorraine, if you can just drop a link into the chat as I'm speaking, that would be really helpful, because I'm just operating from one screen at the moment, so I'm kind of driving blind. So if you could do that, that would be great. The National Highway Supply Chain Development or partner page is where we hold all of the information on the frameworks that we're supporting for National Highways, all of the information for the category procurement strategies that we have available on this partner page. Also, all of the information on the net zero carbon plans that National Highways have in place. We've developed a whole series, there's about 40 different learning pathways that we've developed over the last few years since we've been working very closely with National Highways. So there are learning pathways both for individuals and for organisations that you can access and find out more about through this partner page. Within this partner page, as I've highlighted there, is a link to the supply development system. And this, when you click on that link for the supply development system. This is the landing page for the SDS itself. There's a welcome message there from David O'Neill, Supply Chain Director, and there are some important support resources on this landing page. There's a kind of video tutorial, which I'll play after I've been through these slides, which is quite interesting, and that's kind of a screenshot guidance as well in an animated video format to allow you to find how to do the assessment. So I'll play a little bit of that. But there's also further information as well available as a download PDF document from this landing page. So this is the National Highways SDS landing page, and on that page you will see all of the background and context which Laura and Steph have provided for you during this session, and it refers back to those imperatives that Steph said that the SDS is built around. Okay, so now, again, just using some screen grabs to illustrate where and how to find the assessment itself. And this comes back to the key point that I made earlier, in that the assessment is designed to increase an organisation, a business's broader capability as a whole. So the assessment isn't designed for any one individual to benchmark their knowledge and increase knowledge. This assessment is about what an organisation does, rather than about any particular individual within that organisation, about what he or she may know. So it's accessed, for that reason, it's accessed from your company dashboard. And that's really important, because you need to be an admin or owner of the company dashboard to find the assessment on your company dashboard page. If you see there where the red dot is, this is a company called Action Sustainability. That's the company that I work for. That's the organisation that delivers all of the supply chain schools provision. So this is our company page, but I've got a screen grab of that just to show you that the National Highways Assessment only appears when you're on the company page. So if I was to click on my little headshot there and go onto my personal page, the National Highways Assessment would disappear. So you can't find it from your personal learning account. You need to be on your company page. And to be on your company page, you need to be an admin. We can grant you admin access, or your current admin within your organisation can also open up admin access for you to be able to see and use the National Highways Assessment. Okay, so once you've seen that on your company page, you just click on the button and assess, and it will lead you in. There's a bit of a preamble, a short sort of agreement, a tick box about the SDS, and then you click through to the assessment itself, and it opens up into a series of competency-based questions around and connected to those imperatives that Steph guided us through before, that 3x3x3 box matrix that Steph referred to. So the topics, there are 9 topics in total. They're listed down the left-hand side of the assessment, so you can navigate directly to any of these subtopics should you wish to, or you can just work through the topics in order all the way through all 27 topics. So on each of the 9 subtopics, there are 3 competency-based questions around those subtopics. If any don't apply to your organisation, there is a not applicable button when you work through these questions. So you can skip any competency question out of the assessment if you think or feel that that doesn't apply, or that your organisation isn't involved in that discipline. Then you can use that button just to bypass that and go straight on to the competency areas where you want to focus your attention. There are, I don't know if I've, there are help functions built in to the assessment as you work through. So there's a question mark on each. If you hover over that question mark, you will find a help box which provides the standard description of that competency area. So if you're unsure exactly what that competency area refers to and what National Highways are interested in your organisation demonstrating within that competency area, then use that help function on the right hand side. And the competency areas, as you see, are ordered in levels of maturity. The first one is the fundamental level, the kind of base level, if you like, entry level. And then the maturity increases at levels 2, 3, 4, then 5. So we are asking organizations to be honest and transparent with where they see their organizations are at in comparison with these competency statements. It's really important to do that, because if you overscore or underscore your competency, then you will get actions and learning produced and available to you through the action and learning plan, which might not be right for your organization. So to get the best, most bespoke action plan, which is relevant to where your organization's at, you need to be completely transparent with how you're scoring yourselves as you work through the assessment. You can save, if you don't have time to do it in one hit, you can save it and exit and then come back into the assessment and it'll remember where you're at. If you do have time to do it in one hit, work through, submit your answers, and then you will be able to see your data and you'll be able to see your benchmark on the National Highways assessment within your company's dashboard. So you'll be able to see how you've scored to each of the 27 if you've done all of the competency areas, or on each of the areas where you've provided a response, and you'll be able to compare and contrast how you've scored to the school average, and also more precisely your sector average, because you can use this element of the dashboard to have a look at how peer organizations in your particular sector of the supply chain are performing, as well as having a look at the school average and total. So if you remember, Steph and Laura referred to 130 plus organizations that have been through this tool already. So all of their responses are averaged out in this middle column, and you can see whether you're above or below par, if you like, when you work through the system yourselves. Okay, I'm now going to just switch across to the internet and have a look at a live view, if that's okay. And once I've finished doing that, we can come to Q&A. And I'm expecting there might be a few Q&As because there's a lot of information to get through. So if you remember, I went to the partners page. You click on National Highways, go to the National Highways partner page, and then click through to the National Highways Supplier Development System. This, as you saw on the previous screen grab, is all of the background and context. And we have some screenshot guidance here and a PDF document with more detailed information about how the SDS has been designed and created to drive improvements to supply chain performance. So I'm going to play now, it's only a couple of minutes, so I'm going to play the video tutorial, which is available through this this page itself. So just bear with me, I'll go across to the YouTube video and hopefully the sound will work.
Andrew, there's no sound.
Oh, is it not?
No.
Okay. Sorry, just 1 second. Thanks for saying that, Steph. Let me just try and reshare. If I try and reshare now, my screen, and then I'll hopefully click the button and open up the sound. I did try and do that before, so go back a little bit. Let me know, just shout out if there's sound playing. Is that better?
Sorry, I can't see anything now.
No, we can't see or hear anything, Andrew.
Am I not showing my, sorry, just a second. Third time lucky.
Yep.
access and complete the National Highways Supply Development System on the Supply Chain Sustainability School. On logging into your school account,
Is that working?
please proceed through to your company account.
That's working
Once
fine.
here, you will see all of the assessments available to your company located here on the right-hand side. If you do not see the Assess or Reassess button, this means you are not yet an administrator of your company account. In order to be made an admin, simply reach out to the Supply Chain School or the owner of your company account, whose details you will find on the left-hand side. Once you are happy, press Assess or Reassess. Read the statements that are included in the page here and press Agree and then get started. Once the question set is loaded, you will be able to be reminded of the different statements you've just agreed to above, and you will also be able to make your way through the different statements and question sets that are included within. There are 27 questions. Simply read each maturity statement and rank the maturity of your business against each of the options. If you need more guidance, you can hover over the question mark option included here. And if you need to navigate between the different sections, you can use these bookmark links here on the left-hand side. Once you have completed all 27 questions, you will be able to submit your answers here. Once you have submitted all answers on behalf of your business, you will be given an action plan that will populate in your company's action plan hub here. In order to view the actions that have been recommended for your company, simply click on View Plan and the actions will drop down below. Each action is hyperlinked and you can click on them straight away to get started. There will be 10 actions for you to complete as a business, and once you have completed all of these actions that have been given as a result of your assessment, you will be able to complete your learning plan and from there undertake a reassessment against the supply development system should you wish to do so. If you have any questions about completing the National Highways Supply Development System, simply reach out to the Supply Chain School using the details you'll find on our website.
Okay, I'm glad it worked that time. Just bear with me, and I'm going to just go to our company's action plan, just to show you the learning resources that are embedded in those action plans, because there's quite a lot of powerful functionality that exists around the action plan. So as the video tutorial said, once you've completed the assessment and submitted your answers, you have a hub with all of the action plans for any assessment that you've done. Obviously, this is a National Highways assessment, so you can view that plan. And when you view the plan, just have a look, see if it works. Yeah, so when you view that plan, it will list out 10 key learnings and actions that are recommended for you on the basis of how you've responded to the assessment. So everyone's action plan is actually bespoke. There will be no action plans that are the same as any other organization. Each one will be slightly different, because if you factor in the competency, there's 27 competency questions, there's 5 different levels of maturity in each of those competency questions, so there's 135 different combinations of answers that you can give. So we expect each of these plans to be different and unique. So you just simply have a look at these actions, learn about visual management. Which one shall I click on? Build your approach to customer focus and maturity. These are all hyperlinked. So when you click on any of these actions, it takes you through to learning, which supports this action area. So for all of the actions in your plan, you'll be able to click on the hyperlinks and find out about what that learning involves. You will be signposted to specific e-learning modules or other training materials on the school's website. They will be hyperlinked for you, and you will also be signposted towards external support as well. In this case, we are signposting through to the Making a Difference to Our Customers, the customer service strategy for National Highways themselves. So that approach holds good for all of the different areas of your learning plan. And when you've completed the plan, as the video tutorial said there, you just click on complete plan and that frees up the assessment again for you to do a reassessment whenever you wish to. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing now and maybe go back to see you all and see if there's any Q&A, and Steph, I'll let you come in as well to reiterate any points that you wish to.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to see if there's any hands up, or I'm going to go to the chat. Okay, so Lorraine, you put some comments in there just to support what I was saying. Yep, you've got your email address in there. I'll put my email address in there as well. If anyone needs help and support getting to their admin dashboard for their company's account with the school, i.e. to enable you to find the National Highways Assessment and use it, then please let us know and we'll respond to that straight away. Lorraine, were you able to put in the links as well for the Supply Development System landing page? Yes, you were. Yeah. Okay, great. I'll just type my email address.
It's probably just to mention, Andrew, you know, we have been talking to other industry bodies about this, and you know, as I say, there's not many companies focusing, there's no companies focusing on development quite like National Highways. You know, we take it very seriously about the productivity improvement. But obviously, one of the questions from Edward in there, you know, it's not going to solve every single issue. You know, the angle on this is, you know, improve your capability, improve your performance. That's the angle that we're taking. You know, when it comes to the A303 inflator prices, you know, that's a different area for us. We will link out, we will connect you to other people on that. You know, this is solely aimed at, you know, a free tool, you know, to all suppliers in enterprise-wide. And, you know, probably just, you know, the system is connected into quality, into our lean, into customer, into health and safety, into PAS 28, our carbon teams. This system is connected throughout National Highways. It's just not been done on a standalone basis. So, you know, it's not replacing anything. The only thing it is replacing, or it is our refresh system from, you know, the one that we set out 3 years ago to attempt to do. So, but happy to take any other questions, or if you want to email me outside of this, and we can go forward. So there's a few just coming in now. Oh. Andrew, do you want to go through them?
Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah. I've just realised that people probably can't put their hands up or read out the questions live, but people can drop them into the chat. Obviously, that Victoria's done. If you're advised to do training following the assessment, how do you determine how many delegates and any delegates that do training? Is it registered within assessment of who has done it in the organisation? So, Victoria, all of the training that individuals do is recorded on the school's platform. So you as an individual, when you've done training within your school account, it will generate hours within your dashboard of CPD accredited learning that you've done with the school, and you can provide that as evidence to anyone you wish to, internally or externally. And your organisation, because you're part of an organisational account, your organisation will also accrue hours that you've done as an individual as well. So you're helping your organisation to either become bronze, silver, or even gold level members of the school. Gold level is obviously the ultimate level of engagement when organisations are using the school's resources on a very regular basis. So we hope that through using the support available within the SDS, more organisations will reach silver and then gold level as well.
Yeah. Andrew, there's just one from Philip there. Or Phil, is there a way to reset the assessment? I think, look, Philip, every time you reassess, it's like it resets. And as I said at the beginning, you know, this is not a race to score 5 out of 5. It's not going to affect any procurements, but your answers regarding any procurements on the quality section of it, you know, might be enhanced. You know, there are 27 outcomes. The way that, for example, Balfour Beatty look at this, they'll speak with the supplier saying, right, which area are you focusing on? Are you focusing on health and safety, productivity, or you might be focusing on 3 areas? It's entirely flexible around your business. To do 27 all at the same time will be quite challenging, and change that in your business. But, when you reassess, you might reassess one particular area, the other answers might remain the same, and you might see that progress, and then you might give you different output on that reassessment.
So, Bill, just chipping in there, the way that you reset it is you do what we call a force complete. So, even if you haven't completed your action plan, clearly the system is designed for you to complete that action plan and go through the 10 recommendations in turn. But if you wanted to jump straight to a reassessment, you can do a force complete and just click the button at the bottom of the action plan that says complete plan. And if you click that button, it wipes the slate clean, so to speak. So it allows you to go back in and do another assessment. So I think that's what your question was getting at.
I think the recording is being done, hasn't it? So we will be available. Will it be available on the Teams or on the National Highways page from this session?
I'll let Lorraine answer that.
I'll send it out to everyone who's registered, and we'll also put a link to it on the page as well.
Brilliant. And if you need to reach out, you've got my details, you've got Laura's details. We're happy to engage, with you and to talk you through it. All we want to do is just, see what you're doing in the end. What benefit has it been? Andrew, there's one there from Edward again about is a supply chain school accredited by external bodies? If so, what standards? Now, I know you linked to ISO and you influence into the ISOs, but you're probably able to answer it a bit better than what I can.
So the first thing is that we are CPD accredited, and we're proud of that. We've always had CPD accreditation. So when you're attending a workshop that the school delivers, or using any of our e-learning modules, and the SDS points people to a lot of e-learning modules that the school has produced over the years, you're building up your CPD record. We're CPD certified, and we maintain that certification on a rolling annual basis. Yes, you mentioned ISO. Steph, we obviously ourselves are registered and accredited to ISO 9001 and 14001 and BS 8901, which is a sustainable event management standard. But we co-wrote 2400, ISO 2400, the international standard on sustainable procurement. So we co-authored that a few years ago, and we've been pushing that to as many organizations as possible and providing support on ISO 2400. But the main accreditation that we have is CPD certification. We aren't affiliated to any college. We don't have any, apart from the CPD certification, we don't have any membership of professional bodies that enables you to get particular vocational qualifications. It's a softer learning environment than that. But the training materials that we have and the training that we deliver is all CPD certified, if that makes sense.
Andrew, it's probably worth mentioning you have worked, from what I remember when speaking to Ian and Sean in the past, that you've worked with King's College, Sheffield University, I think Leeds College. You've worked with a number of different higher education, and you've gone into studies and all sorts of different things in the past. From what conversations we've had.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we work with a number of different partners on different issues and we produce guidance for industry on a number of different areas. So that the King's College that you mentioned partnered with us to produce a new suite of learning content around procurement and sustainable procurement. So that tapped into the work that we do on ISO 2400. We work with the manufacturing training academy, I think they are, the MTA, on a series of learning around modern methods of construction, for example, and design for manufacturing assembly style learning. So we do partner across a number of different organizations to develop new content. The school's got over 4,000 resources on the platform, so it's like kind of painting the Fourth Road Bridge, I suppose, to use that metaphor. We're continually refreshing the bank of content that we have, and trying to up our game on a rolling basis to ensure that our content remains relevant and up to date.
Is there any other questions? Happy to take any more, or if you want to reach out later, the contact details are in there.
I'm just looking through to see if there's any other questions.
I think we've covered most of the questions, well, all the questions that are in there now.
Oh, there was one just scrolling up about link to gold standard. Steph, do you want to take that one?
No, yeah, it is linked to gold standard. You know, we obviously there's some overlap on that. You know, we know there's a number of direct suppliers who have we call tier one sometimes that have, you know, done the gold standard. You know, I was involved in the early stage of it on the concept of it. I'm not sure how far it's going to go forward now at this moment in time, but it is linked, you know, like into various other disciplines. You know, that other topics such as quality. You know, there is a quality matrix we're going to be linked to. There is a customer matrix we're linked to, health and safety matrix we're linked to. So, you know, that, you know, we are joined up. There's been a lot of work internally done on that. So I hope that answers your question on that one. So Victoria's just asked the question: would you recommend doing this as an organisation or as a sector? It's aimed at organisational level.
Yes, that's right. It's an organisational assessment, organisational capability assessment. So we're obviously aware that there's a vast range of sizes of organisations, from, you know, one-man bands to major multinationals with thousands of employees. So the way that you approach the assessment might depend on the size of your organisation. If you're an organisation with, you know, 100 or 150 plus employees, you might want to bring in a team of people to sit together or to coordinate via Teams to answer particular different parts of the assessment according to their roles and responsibilities within the organisation. If you're a very small micro business, the director or owner of that company might do it on behalf of the business itself. If you're a large multinational, there might be somebody coordinating it who acts as a sort of triage and farms out the questions to different colleagues to ensure that the right answers are coming back, and then that person can record those responses within the dashboard. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll probably give people 10 minutes back then, Steph, or there's a new message. Yeah. Victoria's put a thumbs up. Thanks, Victoria. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing stopping you. Just have a look at it. You're happy to have feedback. You know, as I say, the SMEs have done it so far. The quickness is half an hour because they found it fairly simple. And that's what I wanted to achieve, simplicity of it. And there will be, you know, direct suppliers will be looking at moderating scores in the future. But again, it'll be a simple discussion. How are you doing on the, where are you on it? You know, and, you know, we'll just want to make sure that there isn't a bit of alignment in there when direct suppliers are doing that moderation. But it's nothing going to be, you know, we're not trying to catch anybody out at all. It's all about building that performance and that capabilities in all these different areas. So, but yeah, but thank you for today.
Okay, thanks everybody for attending. Any other questions that suddenly come to mind? You've got Steph's email address, you've got my email address, you've got Lorraine's. We're happy to help at any time. So good luck with completing the SDS and doing the actions that drop out of your assessment. And please give us some feedback as well. And we'll be, as Steph said, sending the case study template round, and we're looking for formal feedback to promote via the school's website and highlight some case studies of organisations that have used the SDS and benefited from it. So if your organisation could help us with that, we'd be really glad to hear from you. Thanks again, everybody, and have a good afternoon. See you again soon. Bye.